I have a question. I was watching the draft with my husband last night. I'm not even a big football fan, but I like to watch this draft because I like to see people's dreams come true. But I'm wondering, do you have to have a white girl with you to get drafted?
That's right. Leroy Edwards don't even date black women no more. All of a sudden, he's with a white chick, and the girl is there at the NFL draft. But wait.
I see the big topic with the, all our ball players that, pretty much got the white girl. But now, a lot of them have gone to school with these white girls throughout their lives. And, it may be love. Is it love? Is it all but fashionable? Do we just have a color, issue within our race? What really is it?
Just like the brother said, these black men start going to college or high school with these young white women at a very young age. If it's not in college, it's in high school. Let's look at Bronny James. He went to Sierra Canyon High School. He's rich. He's never really had the black experience. His proximity to white women has been close his entire.
Oh, here we go. Young Bronny James. A lot of this is stemming from the brother Paul Pierce. All right. And they'll get to his part of this. I know a lot of y'all seen it. Paul Pierce has made some triggering statements about why black men are dating outside the race. And, he gave his reason why.
I'm going to go on to say, I don't think it has anything to do with the color of the flesh. It's a cultural difference, and that difference is femininity. It's not a talking point, but these sisters be more feminine. That's what it is. That feminine energy, a man is drawn to. It don't matter what color the skin is. It don't. It's what it is. I guarantee. Look at that smile. They all pleasant. You know what I mean? All sweet and ish. I'm telling. This ain't no debate. Femininity.
Close his entire life. So it's normal to date chicks like that. But in the case of people like Leroy Edwards, who grew up in the black community and have now converted to dating only non-black women, what is the reason why?
Now, on the side of the athletes, there's two reasons, in my opinion, that black men are going towards white women. One, what I have noticed amongst my friends is that they fetish white women a great deal. They find their proximity to white women, it gives them some kind of more of a boost. Like it gives them like a sprinkle of success being in proximity of having a white woman. Like it's a trophy. They find them to be like a trophy.
And that has been an age-old thing. I don't know, obviously, but I don't know. I've never had the conversation, I guess, but and I don't know if anybody would truly say that out their mouth, right? You sitting there, if you asking a guy, he ain't gonna say I'm dating my wife because she's a trophy and she better. So I don't know where they come up with this stuff at.
Yeah, fetish.
Like projecting, if you will.
Yeah, there you go. That's projecting at best. I don't know. What you think, Ms. Raquel? What you got on this topic?
Oh God, I see it. I'm not gonna lie. I do know black men married to white women that do hold it up on some kind of pedestal, and I don't know what that reason is. I don't know what their experiences are because you don't ask people that, but it does come across that they think that because they married white, that for some reason, their marriages are better or yeah. So I've seen it that way. I've seen it the other way too, where it doesn't seem like color matters, and it's just they had a lot of things in common in college and they just stuck together and they never left. And then, in the South, black men have, there's like a thing with red bones, and you got to be careful of that too. Like, so it's like there are some of these things that we push under the rug when it's us doing it, and we do it too, like maybe the Shannon Sharp thing, maybe, that's weird, right? Like
okay,
that.
now let me ask you this. Is there a disconnect? Because I guess for the sake of the conversation, they are talking about athletes, more rich men. And Because I'm thinking of just average, everyday people. I think maybe rich people do that. The Shannon Sharps of the world, maybe they hold these women up higher. But I think the everyday, average working man, maybe not so much.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How many men do you know married to white women?
In real life?
In real life, how many men do you hang out with that are married to white women?
I got one good friend of mine that's married to a white woman, Italian woman.
Okay.
Mhm.
And okay, so one, and I bet that he is not like this first description.
Correct. Yeah,
Because he hangs out with you. He hangs out with you, a very authentically
yeah.
black
He's
man,
he's
proud of
extremely
himself.
professional. He ain't even got
Right.
social media.
Right. But you see, like, he doesn't have social media. They probably have a lot of things in common while
Mhm.
they're together. It probably has nothing to do with race.
And
Some
that's it.
men, they go after a certain thing every time. Blonde hair, blue eyes, or mixed, blah 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 blah. And
I'm
like once you see that, it's a red flag to me.
I'm telling you, it's femininity. And then me and my wife was talking, we reminiscing about when we first met in college, and that's what it was. Like I was sitting there and I'm sitting there looking at the girls coming through. I was working at the front desk in the dorm, and I'm sitting there watching, and as ghetto chicks walk past, I'm used to that. And then this feminine woman walked past, ended up being my wife, and I know what I was like, whoa, she all sweet, kind, talking, no, nice to me. I was smitten. Never came across it. This was a raw emotion. I was a
Okay, so
ninja.
explain that. You said femininity walked into the room. Like, what do you
Yes.
mean by that? When she came into the room, did she have a smile on her face?
Yes.
Did she hold the
Smiling,
door
just
open?
soft. Shoulders went high, said hi, smile, made you want to approach, was welcoming energy. And that's
Mhm.
what it is. Somebody said in the chat, femininity puts a man's guard down. I was a freshman out of the projects. I was brutish. And I was like, whoa, what is this?
Find them to be like a trophy.
Like the presenter said, we can infer that possibly Leroy believes that white women are better, or
Black men are not equipped to handle black on black relationships. And you may say, what do you mean? Now, understand, listen to this. This is not a bad thing. This is not a good thing. It's just a thing. Black folks have so much trauma that when we are in proximity of other black folks, it's only competition. We have been conditioned to compete with the other black person. It doesn't matter whether it's a man or a woman. The only way to survive back in the day was to compete. I'm the better Negro than you. So when we are in relationships, this translates to the exact same thing. Not just man, but also woman.
the presenter makes a very good point here. We can also infer that possibly whenever Leroy dealt in a relationship with black women, he wasn't able to handle it. It was too much infighting in the relationship. It was, he was trying to be the man or she was trying to be the man. And now that he's with this white woman.
All right. This is crazy. Is it safe to say that the majority of these men that people are trying to shame, that the black women don't even want them in the first place? So it's as if black women are saying, if we don't want y'all don't deserve coup d'etat at all. And that's the baseline. Yeah, they're like, look, we don't want y'all, so go in the corner, cry, and you don't ever get no other coup d'etat. And it don't work like that.
Yes. Again, Kev said it best. When today's melanated women think they have a monopoly on the melanated man. 100%. And again, so what is this HQ? I know you can relate to this. These guys like Uncle Shay Shay, he fit as far as the physical attributes, women always ask for that. But it's that his personality that they don't like. And ain't no sisters attracted to a brother like Uncle Shay Shay, which is wild to me. But then he go get him a white woman and then uproar. Why they uproar for, man, they really don't want HQ?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's an uproar because of the men of that. I think it's just an uproar because it just shows another black man getting into serious issues because he's dating a white woman. I think that's primarily it. See, we women, we black women don't mind you dating out. Everybody seems to think that we do. We do not mind you dating out. What we mind is when you're going out the door to date somebody that's not black, you look back and you denigrate and you say we're no good, but we're going to date somebody white. That's the problem we have. We don't have a problem you dating anybody outside. Long
No,
as you
no,
don't
no. There's
denigrate
the thing.
us.
Now take that. See, I believe. Would you say denigration? You know, talking bad. Not I believe that is made up. Uncle Shay Shay ain't say nothing negative about melanated sisters to up white women. No, but they still like he deserves it. So that's what I'm saying. Why
That's
that
what I'm
that
saying.
that denigration is not in the picture. It's not here. It's not
Right.
present. So,
No,
but still, why the malice, even though it's not present?
no, I was just addressing why women have a problem. They may
Okay,
have
and
a
I
problem
got
with
that, but why with Uncle Shay
So
Shay when that's not there? So you on
because
this? It's not there.
historically, every time we see a brother in the news, it's because it's at the hands of a white woman. And this is just the latest adventure that's been in the news. Jonathan Majors, who is it? Bill Cosby. All of these, we can name a couple. We can name a few high-profile cases.
Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace. Come
And
on.
this is just a list of black brothers who threw out there that they liked or they had a preference for white women, and then the white women 2 weekends, like Cat Williams said, it'll take you 2 weekends in order to drag a brother down to the dirt.
But think about it though, because I'm a numbers guy. When it does happen, and then we always say if something happens one time, it's too much.
Mhm.
But in these cases, when we talk about percentages, it is not happening that often. And we are thinking about the percentile of all these athletes and entertainers that date out. It's not like 50% of them are getting, these women are charged. No, it's probably less than 1%.
Yeah,
That's
but
why we
we're
talk
not
about it. When it happens so isolated, that's why people talk about it, because it don't happen as often.
Well, we talk about it because it's in the news more than any other demographic.
That's not true.
As being dragged through the mud, that's the only one that we know of. You don't hear black women dragging the white boys through the mud. You don't hear that. You always hear the white girls dragging the black boys through the mud.
No, it's not. Well, it's not that. Like you say, it's isolated. So you trying to say one woman will drag one black man, and you try to put that on everybody.
No, I'm just saying it's happened enough where we all notice it.
Well, that's not true, because black men can bring up stats to where black women have done the same type of harm at a larger rate. But we still love y'all.
But I'm saying publicly, it's been primarily black men and white women, not white men.
That's because it's media, is propaganda. That's all.
Hey, they still do.
That's why I said when it come down to the raw numbers and percentages, it's laughable, but it's propaganda that's put in front of us.
It ain't propaganda, it's the real truth. It just happened to be in news.
It's propaganda because it's made to seem like it's happening more than it is. That's what makes it propaganda. It's not what it appears to be.
I'm not bashing brothers can date whoever they want to. I'm saying the going narrative is every time a black man becomes successful, he gets dragged down the tubes by a white girl. So I'm just repeating the narrative that is out there.
Here's my thing. So
real quick, Mr. Walker, I would say, what do we say about men like Anthony Edwards, the brother that just with the child support, and brothers like Zion Williams? This stuff, these black women do the same. These Brittany Renners, they do the same stuff. So what are we saying?
So are we saying that these Brittany Renner people are on the same level as Shay Shay? They're not. Shay Shay, Bill Cosby, Jonathan Majors, those are different levels of men compared to these young boys. Different level. Different level.
Using and abusing. We're talking about just on the basis of using and abusing. You know, we ain't talking about money amounts. We're talking about the intention. These women, melanated or not, are getting with these men for one reason only, and that is not to build with them, but to extract resources and their sanity. Forget the money amount. And overall, I just want to see if we get an answer for this malice, because I'm not coming from a place where I'm a happily married man, but it appears that there is just a distinct malice for the melanated man in the dating market. He only belongs to the melanated sisters, and even the ones they don't want need to just go in the corner and cry. I want to know why.
I mean, it's a matter of them letting them date whoever you're allowed to date whoever you want to date. I mean, when women are not having a problem or issue finding men, that's not the problem. The problem is men are running into the corner talking about, oh, I'm just going to date out. We don't care that you date out. We don't care. There's plenty of men on the planet. Go find somebody that celebrates you. Don't worry about what I say. If I say all y'all go in the corner and throw yourself down on concrete stairs, I don't care. I mean, do your thing. That's you all's thing.
Well, I would say it's not just talking. That's the problem. I would say the men are not up here talking. They are actually doing it. That's where the problem comes in. As we see on the screen, they are actively dating out, and the women are actively hating. It's like, let these men be and let them do what they do.
All they saying is you run over there and get into trouble if you want to. Just run over there and get into trouble if you want to. That's all.
But they can stay here and get into the trouble. There is no difference in trouble. It's all the same.
It's just on a bigger scale.
Isn't there an athlete who's just now suing his girlfriend for lying on him, and she was a black track star?
But it's different though, right?
It happens.
It feels like she's very feminine. It could feel like she's very submissive, or you would use the word very demure. Now, he's still obviously attracted to black women because he grew up around them. But when it comes to these relationships, he finds that he's dealing with these ladies. And that brings us to the topic of today's conversation. That brings us to Paul Pierce. Now, Paul Pierce is very similar to Mr. Leroy Edwards. I mean, he grew up in Oakland, then moved to Inglewood. He's 6'7", went to University of Kansas, and obviously he probably has a few stories about dealing with white women or so. And he was asked a very interesting question the other day.
Why do you feel like men, especially NBA players, get with the white women? Is it because they're easy, quote unquote?
I got some theories, but I really want to hear it from him.
I do too. I want to hear it too.
I honestly think that maybe they appreciate maybe more and they apologize more.
Listen, I'm scared. Hold on. Hold on.
I mean,
I had an interview with
they don't mind being held accountable.
Shout out to Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce, they say, why are black men dating out? This is Paul Pierce, former NBA star, and he says they're more agreeable. They hold themselves more accountable. What was the other word he used? There was another agreeable, accountable, and they listen more or something he said. And it goes back to Mr. Walker saying femininity, I guess. So what you got?
They say I'm sorry more.
Yeah, they say I'm sorry. They apologize, accountability. Is that true or false, HQ? What you think?
I wouldn't even begin to know. I have no idea. I don't think so. Human beings are human beings. I'm just saying to this profile, high profile, middle profile, regular profile. Most of the time when a man gets in trouble and he's black, it's because of a white woman. That's high profile. Sure. Black women do the same thing. Sure do. Ain't saying they didn't. I'm saying high profile black men are on a different whole level. Shannon Sharp is on a different level. Jonathan Majors is on a different level than a college athlete, period. So I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying black women don't. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying Shannon Sharp is the latest person in the news. And every time you turn around, it's one of the high profile black men that get in trouble. I'm not saying other black women don't do it. Y'all keep thinking I'm saying black women don't do it. I'm saying you don't hear black women taking advantage of men like that, or putting them to the point
every day. Have you heard, they just told you, HQ, you need to
just said black women.
Hold on. The people up there said, HQ, you need to go to a child support hearing. Go sit in these courts. You sit there just because they ain't charging these men with great, which they are. It's just not in the news because a lot of these athletes don't mess with these women. But, I mean, that is what it is. We talk about Nug and them. They get charged. Everybody knows somebody that's been charged with something.
Okay. They're not in the news, though. Not like these. Not like Shannon Sharp. That's all I'm saying. I ain't say they didn't do it.
And that's why we're saying it's propaganda. The media will pick and choose what they display. But I swear to goodness, I was just having this conversation with my wife the other night. I said if a lot of these wives and women will go to their boyfriend or husband and apologize in a feminine, sorrow-filled manner, they man would cry. I said that because melanated sisters don't apologize. Y'all don't say, I'm so sorry. Kev said it best. Y'all need to learn how to apologize as long as y'all make y'all accusations. So y'all be sitting here and y'all like to yell and fuss about stuff y'all ain't happy with. But whenever y'all wrong, y'all be, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Nah, get over it. Want some kudakata? I guess.
And it could be different because I think a lot of these women, Becky and them, they treat black men different than they treat their own. So, they it's that extra femininity comes into the room when they dealing with these athletes and whatnot. You just can't be out here dealing with 19-year-old OF models. That's just the bottom line. Like, there is a lane you're supposed to move a certain way. And Shannon, he crossed the gun line, unfortunately.
Yeah, freaky yunk. he got sloppy.
I mean,
I had an interview with
don't mind being held accountable.
I'm so scared of this, y'all, because I had an interview with Columbus Short, and I asked him this similar question, and he said something, and I got dragged for filth. I was on Breakfast Club. I had death threats for so long from black women because they said I laughed when he said that. So let me not laugh. I don't have nothing to do with this.
I mean, that's what I think.
I'm black. Know. He don't know, though, because he dates black women, period. So do not come for him, period.
So Paul Pierce says this: NBA players get with white women because they apologize and appreciate them more. They don't mind being held accountable. Now, once he said that, a whole bunch of people were upset in the comments. Now, the comments range in different tones about the subject, but I'll start with this guy. I love black women. Why? Their strengths, perseverance, love, humility, grace, elegance, and maturity. This one here, being accountable and being manipulated are two different things. You see Reese Colbert, that's fine, just don't make it a civil rights issue if you catch a case. This individual says, do NBA players get CTE? This other person says, more and more we see proof that being older doesn't mean being wiser. This person, Shea Butter, says, I'm so tired of these combos. Date who you want, leave black women out of it. Of course, these comment sections had balance to them. Those appreciating Paul Pierce, thinking he was right, and then some calling him out on it. But is there a level of unaccountability when it comes to black women? I will say that women have a problem. I believe that most men feel that women have somewhat of an issue with accountability. Remember, the manosphere is just not black men. White men say the same thing about their women. Hispanic men say the same thing. Asian women say the
and I think it's a crazy thing because I think black women also treat white men differently than they treat black men. So the equation just keep going and going and going. It goes a deeper stem issue. Because, like I said, white women will give it a black dude and treat him better than she would Brad and Chad. And then you sisters,
too.
The sisters would get with Brad, and we done see that y'all start going to the gym, all that for Brad. So it's different.
The first time I ever saw a woman serve a man even a glass of water with a smile without attitude was a white woman. I'm trying to tell y'all something. This is a PSA. Like, that femininity will take the toughest thug and make him acquiesce to those feminine ways. We keep saying that femininity is a cheat code. Look, Becky is reaping the benefits of it. If you are feminine, a ninja is going to F around and find out. There ain't no way around that. He gonna have to. Like, you so soft and welcoming. I gotta see what this about. And here we are. Femininity can be weaponized. Y'all don't even know how to do it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, say it. Because
I was trying to tell HQ. I'm sorry.
It's a very small percentage. It's not at all. So I don't want the all police to come in. We're obviously not talking about all. Y'all should understand that.
Women have somewhat of an issue with accountability. Remember, the manosphere is just not black men. White men say the same thing about their women. Hispanic men say the same thing. Asian women say the same thing. I think that what a lot of black men are talking about is that if you look at black women's unaccountability in comparisons to the average unaccountability, they would assume that black women's unaccountability would be more. And probably the reason for that is that a lot of these black women, they're not coming from, men in the home. There are no fathers there. In comparisons to some of the white women that they are dating or dealing with, if they're in college, it's more than likely that a lot of these white women are coming from two-parent homes. So they have seen, their mom and dad, come to terms and take accountability in relationships to make the relationship work. So this is something that they have seen. Whereas when it comes to black women who may not have seen that, they would have a harder time understanding it. And this is probably a valid point. However, I think that it is important to understand that most men in general will feel that black women will have a hard time with unaccountability as it is. All right, that's just in general. And also, even if you are dating somebody that comes from a single parent home or not, it doesn't mean that that person will be accountable or unaccountable. All right, sometimes it has no bearing. The reality is that I feel, after studying black men for 10 years, there must be some truth about black men feeling about that, hey, that white women are more likely to apologize. White women are more able to appreciate them more, and vice versa. They're easy to get along with, right? There has to be some truth to that. And I think that for the black women who are upset about that, I can understand that you don't like being categorized, but I still think that a lot of black women should try to look at some of these things from the black male perspective. I think the fact that black men are talking about this openly means that there is some level of discourse as to why black men want to come to black women or deal with them. But what they're saying is, hey, listen, if these opportunities are not available for us, and if it's just you want me to be accountable and then you can't be accountable, then, we're not going to be able to have a long-term relationship. And I do think that is also valid. I do honestly feel that when it comes to having black relationships,
and I'll say this, when it comes down to marriage rates, it's all small percentages. Neither black men or women are marrying out at a large rate. Less than 10%. Black women are less than probably 5. So it's not that. But black men have the option to date out more, and that's where the problem is, because black women are feminists, this movement, and they want to be equal, and they don't have the equal right to move. Like, they're not desired like black men are. So black men can date out, not just get hunched on, and they can seriously date out and have these women really be into them. And black women are mad at that.
And that's why I keep saying this, there's some malice, and I just want it to be addressed. Before you came up, I said that only for the melanated man HQ does he have to be tall, make more money, and there's some other things, but the icing on the cake is he has to be able to perform like a corn star in the bedroom. And no melanated woman will reject that. They won't say that's not true, Mr. Walker. They just shrug their shoulders. But with that, subsequently, since this heavy demand, this abnormal demand that's not on any other man, can we see why that makes the melanated man the most desirable? Because he is competing to fit this Superman mold. So now the melanated sister like, this is what you got to be, ninja, if you want this. And every other race like, I want that too. So now he's the most desirable by the demand that's put on him. But the melanated sister like, on top of that, you got to be a thug in a suit too. But Becky like, you ain't got to be no thug over here. You see what I'm saying? And there it is. The dots connect pretty easily. What you think, HQ?
I think black men are. Wait a minute. Let's stop putting black men on a pedestal like that. Now, come on. You guys got the worst marriage record of.
No. What? No, but hold on.
Men are. Can I finish? Can I finish?
Black men don't cheat. I just want to say that.
Stop that.
Black men don't cheat.
Stop that. You all have the worst marriage record out of all the men. Stop it. The white women are the fastest growing baby mamas on the planet by black men. Stop it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with black men. I'm saying you all are doing the same thing you've been doing to black women. Same thing, different race.
You said we're not gonna pedestal. I didn't I was stating facts, HQ. You still would not debate what I said. You won't debate that's the demand.
Your people keep having this narrative, not just you all, but I heard this narrative before. We black women we feel some type of way because you all date out. No, we don't. We don't feel no type of way. People gonna love who they gonna love. It don't matter whether you go over to the white race or not. We understand that y'all still
have a question,
but you all still have the worst marriage record out of all the men. So that's all I'm saying.
I got a question. Have you ever heard? This is real simple.
Yeah,
It's real simple. It's not a trick question. Have you ever heard? Have you ever experienced a melanated sister showing disdain for a melanated brother being with a white woman? Yes or no?
I've never seen it.
Okay, goddamn. Okay, see, then
I've never seen it.
and that's why it's disingenuous because we see it.
You're a liar.
That's a lie.
The woman you feel in you is the devil. Why? The devil is the spirit of a lie.
Yes.
Huh? You're a liar.
Disingenuous,
You
man.
you get any
It's all
chick
over
up,
the internet. You show it.
Even the mean-spirited shiesty bum will tell you, we ain't mad that you date out. That's not them mad.
Now stop.
We mad
Now,
at the fact that
now, shout out to
you
Jay
why.
Tillman. Shout out to Jay Tillman. You cannot bring up a character off the internet and that has never said anything positive about a melanated man and try to use that character that may be fake.
I didn't say anything
You
about
just did.
I didn't say anything about
face.
No, what I said was any black woman that you talk to is not going to tell you I'm hurt because our men date white women. No, they're not going to tell you that. What they're going to say is when you're walking out the door and you're denigrating black women because you don't want to date black women. She talk too much. She ain't feminine. She masculine. When you're walking out the door, that's what you're saying, well, I'm just going to go over there and date Becky. That's the resentment they have. They don't have resentment that you date Becky. It's the fact that you denigrate your own kind.
You keep saying denigrate. Denigration is not in the room, but you keep bringing it in the room. That's why I know there's malice. You bring it in. It's not here. You keep bringing it and making that the reason.
Malice?
It's not here. That's not
What do
here.
you mean malice?
You keep saying the men denigrate the women, but that denigration is not in the room. You bring it here. It's not here. It's not here.
So if I said white men treat black women better, white men have a better sense of family, white men are more masculine, wouldn't I be denigrating the black man if I said that?
Not if it's true.
Not if it's true. It's still denigration.
Not if it's true.
That's your point of view.
Hold on real quick, HQ. To denigrate someone is to criticize them unfairly. Unfairly.
Right.
That's why I said
that right there, and is that true?
But the truth ain't hurt nobody. The truth only hurt a liar.
So I'm saying if I said that to Mr. Walker, would I be denigrating him or would I be saying the truth?
If it's true, then it's not.
Okay.
But to sit here and say that, to sit here and say that the melanated sister is the most masculine, is that denigration, or is that something we can observe?
All I'm saying is
is it denigration, or is that something we can observe? Can we observe it?
We don't care like that. We care about what you say when you're walking out the door, which is what a lot of them say when they walk out the door. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we don't care whether black men date white women. We don't care who you date. We want people to love whoever they want to love. It don't matter. It's a small percentage, just like it's a small percentage of black men who care who we date. It's a small percentage of black women who care who y'all date. But the rest of us just want to find somebody and love somebody. That's it.
Okay. At the same time, shout out to all the divestors. We're going to send y'all to Glaze Galaxy.
Glaze away.
We got us the gun line.
Tell them about the gun line, boss.
We may not know which way to go. Oh, Lord, see, this shit is gonna be dangerous. Some dark-winged duck shit. Let's get dangerous. I play the fool for the fool. Everybody plays the fool sometime. And no exception to the rule. Listen, baby, you hear me? I played the fool for a fool.